Hi, this is Laura Holyoke. I have a quick PowerPoint overview of our course that I'm recording for you, and wanted to welcome you to the class. I think this is going to be fun. So I'm playing around with recording, so hopefully this will work. So AOLL 581, Theory, Practices, and Challenges of Leadership, Summer 2016. So first of all, a couple of things that I took into account when I was making up our syllabus. I haven't taught this class in about 6 years, so I started pretty much from scratch. I wanted to keep in mind that we have 6 weeks together, so we're hitting the ground running. And so I wanted our learning to be quality and the amount of work that we did to be quality versus overload. Therefore, I've broken down your grade into 3 different areas. The first one is reading reflections. That'll be 40% of your grade. We have 4 total. They are all chapters that are assigned out of your small book, now I can't remember the title. And then the second one is sharing leadership resources. So these are places online that you think are invaluable, that you want to share with others. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we go through. And then finally, a leadership portfolio, which will be an e-leadership portfolio. So our reading reflections for each week, well, I shouldn't say each week, for 4 different weeks, you're assigned chapters to read out of our textbook. So the reading assignment I've divided into 3 areas of what you will produce to submit, and actually it'll be submitted on a blog so you can share with other people what you're learning. So to write about 3 different ideas that you find interesting and why. So they may be concepts, ideas, and then to write 2 new concepts, ideas, applications to you, 2 new ones to you. I don't even think I'm saying this right. Anyway, along with a description in your own words of what these concepts or ideas are about. Then finally to write 1, the most important concept, idea, application that you learned, may even be a study of sorts, that you would like to apply and how you're going to apply it. Pretty informal. These can certainly be bulleted points. I'm not expecting them to be in paragraph format or even scholarly in form. However, if you are pulling from these, it's always nice to know if you're pulling from a quote or talking about something like that, to list the page number that you're pulling your idea or concept from. Next piece is, I'm moving myself around on the screen, is sharing of leadership resources or links, whatever you want to call them. So we'll do 3 of these throughout the semester, throughout the 6 weeks that we're together. And what I'd like for you is to find that website or that link to some powerful, informative, interesting concepts, something that's persuaded you to change, something that you don't want to forget and that you don't want your classmates to miss. This may be some sort of leadership assessment. It may be a blog post that you've found that you think is absolutely wonderful. Maybe a video, so people may post YouTube videos. It may be TED Talks that you find interesting and want to share with others. Or it could be a short article. It does not need to be a scholarly article. In fact, I find quite a bit of great ideas. I get Harvard Business Review. I find some really good stuff in there. Could be Huffington Post or from a leadership center of sorts. Anyway, this will help build our community. It can also be some information about our e-portfolios and building them, maybe resources for that. Leadership portfolios made up of 4 different areas. These have been all described in your syllabus, and I'll come back to these and talk about them more in a future recording. Your philosophy statement about leadership, what it is that you believe, leadership influences in your life, your values as they relate to leadership, and then your personal development plan. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the values. that I would like for you to choose 3, your top, your most important values when it comes to leadership. Why that value? What does it mean to you? Why is it a part of who you are? How do you live it? How can you improve on this? And how can you go about learning more about this value? So here is just a quick overview of our schedule lined up by weeks. This week you are assigned to read chapter 1 out of our book, and it's titled Why Studying Leadership Matters. Your first reading reflection is due June 19th, which is this coming Sunday at midnight. And then you can see for each week 2, 3, and 4 the assigned chapters that you will use for your reading reflections. Your first sharing of leadership resources is due June 26th, again at midnight. I gave you an extra day on the July 4th weekend, but made things due at midnight July 4th. So certainly don't push yourself and be working that evening. Hopefully you'll be done before then. So that's reading reflection 3 and sharing of your leadership, your third sharing of resources. And then weeks 5 and 6, I've really set aside for you to work on your portfolio and get that put together. That's due in the final week on Wednesday at midnight, July 20th. If I've overlooked something in our schedule, it's some glaring mistake, will you please let me know? I would really appreciate that. Finally, please be communicative. I've taught for 25 years. Actually, I think I've taught for 26. Now 17 of them at the University of Idaho. So I keep trying to read students' minds to no avail. It's a lot easier when I see you face to face, and I just don't know, as you're looking at a screen or trying to do something online, where your frustrations are. So please let me know. Please let me know if I've missed something or if something that I've written or talked about hasn't been comprehensive enough. So I'm glad you're here and glad that we're doing this class together.